Welcome to Show Me Something Wrong,
where each episode one of us chooses a movie to watch that the other hasn't seen. The movie is often obscure, usually odd, and always wrong. I'm Dave.
And I'm Guy.
And today I have chosen the movie, and it's Petey Wheatstraw, the Rudy Ray Moore classic from 1977.
Yeah!
Smash right into it.
Let's get on with it. This film just blew my mind. I feel like I got so much to say, not enough time to say it all. This was an overload.
Yeah.
It was sensory overload.
I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed because we watched it right before recording this.
Yeah. This is actually the first one we've done. We watched it together and jumped straight into the podcast. So it hasn't quite settled with me yet.
Yeah. And there's just, as you said, there's so much to talk about. There's so much happens in this ridiculous film.
Yeah, my mind is a watermelon frenzy.
So I remember last episode, I think I asked you if you knew anything about Rudy Ray Moore.
Yeah.
But what is your knowledge of Rudy Ray Moore?
Nothing. Absolutely
zero. Okay.
I have no idea who he is.
All right. Well, this is quite a strange introduction to him. This is not his most famous movie, Petey Wheatstraw. So I'm no expert on Rudy Ray Moore, but I knew his name growing up because I used to love rap music growing up.
Okay.
I know you're a bit more of a metal boy.
You're a metal boy. Yeah.
But I liked rap, and he was always referenced in 90s rap.
Okay.
And my favorite rapper, Old Dirty Bastard, would make a lot of references to him in his film Dolemite. And so I was always like, what is this Dolemite character? And who is Rudy Ray Moore? But Rudy Ray Moore, he was his nickname was the Godfather of rap. So basically...
Rudy Ray Moore?
Yeah, right. Rudy Ray Moore.
Okay.
He's not a rapper, but he was a stand-up comedian that released a bunch of records that did really well. Interesting. And then he moved into movies in the 70s, making... In 1975, he made Dolemite, which is his most famous role, where he plays a pimp that knows Kung Fu. And it's fucking amazing. It's
like
a great
all pimps
film.
know Kung Fu when they're portrayed in movies.
Yeah. But he's just so... incredibly endearing just because he's not a good actor, but he puts in so much energy to his performance, and the kind of insult rhymes that he does throughout his films are just fantastic.
Yeah, the film we just watched, I couldn't tell if it was all the time, but I kept clocking fuck, he just did a rhyme. That rhyme with the last thing he said. So I don't know if it was just sporadically or if he was always speaking in rhyme, but now that you say that, it does make sense.
Yeah. I think in this film it's not all the time. I can't remember in his other films if it's all the time, but just every now and then you're like, man, that was quite a good little rhyme that he did there. But yeah, he's kind of in recent years had kind of a comeback in popularity.
Okay.
He passed away quite a while ago, but a few years ago, 2019, there was a biopic that came out of his life story called Dolemite Is My Name.
Right.
Based on his classic line where he says, Dolemite is my name and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
Does ODB also reference that?
That
seems like a perfect line. I feel like that would be a sample that would get into a Wu-Tang album.
It's pretty amazing. But yeah, so Eddie Murphy stars as Rudy Ray Moore in this.
That's it. I've heard of that Eddie Murphy remake. I can't remember when it was from. I've never seen it. But when you told me about this film Dolemite, in the back of my head, I was like, was that not an Eddie Murphy film?
Yeah. So the Eddie Murphy film is about making that first Dolemite movie.
Right.
So it's kind of like the behind the scenes of making that. And it is a fucking excellent film. It's so good. And Wesley Snipes is in it as well. And he's just fantastic.
We like Wesley.
Yeah, it's a really good film. So yeah, after this, you should watch that for sure. You should put it on. But yeah, I chose Petey Wheatstraw because it's his most completely fucking out of control film. So he made the first Dolemite, maybe the sequel to Dolemite after that, and then this is his third movie.
Right.
and it's just completely nuts. So I think the full title on screen is Petey Wheatstraw, the Devil's Son-in-Law. Is that what it says on the screen?
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Great title board as well.
Yeah.
What is it like? Is it the W in Wheatstraw is like the Devil's Trident?
It's amazing. I love that we kind of instantly open up on Rudy Ray Moore doing a big kind of rhyme introducing himself. He says the line, so he's like, I'm Petey Wheatstraw, the Devil's Son-in-Law. And then at one point, he's just talking about how great he is. And I wrote down the line, I sit on a tombstone and produce baby ghosts.
That's a great line.
And from that first scene, we don't even know what's going on yet, but we already know that this film is going to be fucking amazing because he's in an incredible like pimp suit. He looks so good in that first scene.
That's it. That opening scene, like, because it's almost like a Baron Samedi-esque character. Like the voodoo priest kind of thing. He's like got the hell, the fire around him, and he's doing these weird rhymes talking about the dead. And I thought it was like this. Well, obviously going by the Trident title, is obviously a very satanic themed movie, but it seemed like a very like odd, like voodoo-esque character. It was that was my first impression. He's like a Baron Samedi type guy.
Yeah, it kind of opens up like we're gonna have like a full-on horror film, but the horror kind of stuff in this, it happens, but it's kind of unusual. But yeah, so once we've got that quick intro with Rudy Ray Moore talking about who he is, we cut into like just when I first saw this a few years ago, this first sort of scene just blew my fucking mind. So he's talking about his being born in the middle of like a Florida rainstorm.
That's right.
We have this amazing flashback with Petey Wheatstraw's mum under the covers in bed, clearly pregnant, with a doctor that comes in. Like there's a comment of someone saying she's going to give birth to an elephant.
Well, she's like obscenely big. Like it's not like ridiculous. A pregnant bump. It's like there's so much shit stuffed under the duvet.
So his Petey Wheatstraw's pregnant mum is screaming in the middle of giving birth. The doctor comes in, who seems very panicked and not really up for the job. He gets under the covers and we think he's about to pull out a baby, but then he pulls out a watermelon.
A watermelon? Yeah.
Just the first of many watermelon gags in this film.
Can I, before you continue, can I just like say this? The scene, the characters in this scene, there was just so much shit going on. It was so overwhelming. You got the woman with the obscenely large belly under the covers screaming. You had a woman next to her, maybe the midwife, who she had a bong in her hand, I think.
Oh, did she?
She had a bong in one hand. She was waving a towel around in the other hand, like maybe trying to like cool her down. And there was just some random woman on the floor just holding her head like, oh Lord, kind of stuff. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then, like you said, she pulls a watermelon out. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in that one scene.
But then, so after the watermelon's pulled out, we get just, oh man, it's just the funniest thing. One of the funniest things I think I've ever seen in a film, where these legs, the baby's legs start coming out, but very quickly you're like, these are not baby's legs. Yeah. This is a child of, how old would you say this kid is? Yeah, he looks about 10. So she gives birth to a 10-year-old child in a nappy. He's in a nappy. So Petey Wheatstraw comes out and like the doctor slaps the butt of the kid. He's like, hey, that hurts. So he's born as a 10-year-old child, or whatever, however old he is. He can talk, and he's instantly enraged. Attacks the doctor, and then attacks his own dad. And he makes a comment about the dad like having sex with the mum every night and bothering his sleep. It's so amazing and so, as you said, completely out of control from the get-go. And we haven't even got to the title sequence yet. This is all before the title.
Oh, fucking this as well, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, Christ.
So we've got that amazing scene, and then bang, we get like the the amazing theme song
That's a great
of this movie. Yeah, the Petey. We should, like I was saying before we started recording this, we should just have it looping throughout this entire episode.
Oh yeah,
maybe at least for this part when we're talking now.
Should do. All right, cut the theme song. Petey Wheatstraw.
Petey Wheatstraw. Petey Wheatstraw. Petey Wheatstraw.
Yeah, that theme song. I love theme songs in movies. Like, and you got them a lot in like trashy 80s horror and exploitation films. And I remember one of my favorite ones was when the Dickies did Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, that's a great theme
so
song.
good.
Yeah.
And like the Toxic Avenger. Who did the Toxic Avenger
I don't know
song?
who did that, but that's a banging theme song as well.
And I used to love those like made for film theme songs.
So good.
And the Petey Wheatstraw theme song is an absolute banger.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
That's one thing in all of his films. They all have amazing theme songs. But yeah, this one's so good, and we hear it a lot throughout the film as well, which I'm not complaining about that at all. It's great. So yeah, we get the theme song kicking in. We've got kind of like a very weird, kind of disconnected like montage. It's like kind of Petey Wheatstraw's backstory.
Yeah.
But it kind of doesn't make any sense either. So we have him getting beaten up by some kids, and he's like really pissed off at these kids. He's like, I'm gonna get you all one by one. I'm gonna kill you all. And then a random guy just shows up and teaches him martial arts like, as we get this title sequence and theme song.
He's essentially Mr. Miyagi, isn't he?
Yeah. And this guy just teaches him kung fu, but I could be wrong, but that guy doesn't come back into the film, right? He's totally irrelevant after
he's like the neighbor or some random dude picks his kid up off the street, and he's like, I'll teach you the ways.
After, I love it. So he's like taught him all the kung fu. He's got like a sword out at one point, a katana, I guess. And he's chopping up a watermelon, and then chopping up, I think it was a zucchini, like hanging from a tree or something. He's chopping some bricks in half, and then the montage is over, and the guy just says, "I've taught you all the mysteries of the world."
That's it.
And Petey Wheatstraw expresses his desire to be a comedian.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Which also comes out of nowhere, but we have to have him be a comedian because it's Rudy Ray Moore. And then we get a pretty great flash forward into present day.
Yeah.
And we've got a now adult Rudy Ray Moore at a club doing a fucking great set where we instantly cut to him insulting a woman's giant butt. Yeah. And then the woman's husband gets annoyed at him, and he starts tearing this guy apart. And then my favorite bit, so he's this guy like tries to like talk back to Rudy Ray Moore, and he says to him, "Hey, I'll have that woman," he points to a random woman in the crowd, "I'll have that woman take one of her titties and beat the shit out of you."
Great.
It's so good. It's so great.
Yeah, like that whole like opening scene, it was a lot to take in. Like the birth, after the birth, just a little kid getting beaten up, random stranger picks him up and says, right now I'm going to teach you karate or kung fu or something. And then with, like you said, the theme song playing overhead, it's like feeling like whammy wah wah, like bam 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 bam.
It's really intense.
And then doing like you said, cutting the watermelon. And then I'm like, at that point I was, oh right, so it's like a kind of like a martial arts blaxploitation film. And then cuts to, I don't know, what, 30 years later? and then he's like, right, then he's now a stand-up comedian. He's like, I'm gonna beat you to death with one of these women's titties. I'm like, right, so now he's a stand-up comedian. I was like, so he doesn't want to pursue the martial arts. Like, I thought the whole thing was gonna be like his revenge story on these kids for beating him up. But after learning all the ways of the world, he's actually I only want to be a comedian.
That's his interest, yeah.
But now that you said before, like the guy is an actual comedian, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that.
I think that's sort of why I chose to do this movie as well. Just the out of control kind of nature of it. I think the first two ones we did. I mean, Mad Fox is pretty obvious why we chose that. It's completely fucked and out of control. Writhing tongue, depressing, demented kind of film. But this is, a pretty light film, very light film.
Yeah.
But it's also completely wrong in every way. It's so out of control.
Well, it was
from
exactly
start to finish.
it was exactly at this point after like kung fu, then comedy, and then the following scene where there's like talking about business ventures. I was like, where the fuck is this film going? What is this? What is this film even about? Like,
and also, we've had this intro where he's like, "I'm the devil's son-in-law." So like, wait, hang on, how's that connected to any of this?
Makes ghosts from Tombstone. It's not like, I'm just like, what is it? Is this a satanic film? Is it a kung fu film? Is it a stand-up comedy film? Is it a business venture film?
It's all of those things.
It is. It's everything. Yeah.
Well, yeah, as you said, we move kind of abruptly from this comedy set to the villains of the film. Well, I say the villains, but they're only the villains for the first half of the movie. Yeah. But yeah, we meet Leroy and Skillet.
That's him.
Yeah. Who was some club owners and also comedians as well, as we found out
I didn't
later.
even realize that at that point, yeah.
And I love that every time Petey Wheatstraw talks about these characters, he's so insulting, calling him fat, slob, fucking, like, just everything he says about them is so insulting. It's great.
One of the great things about him is his ability to insult anyone and everyone.
So good.
And he's so, like, direct and strong with it. He's like, shut your fucking mouth, you son of a bitch.
It's like instantly destroying people. It's great.
It's like the kind of thing that would literally, just like cut a man in half. It just everyone, man, woman, kid, he just comes in, like entering a building. He's like, get out of the way, you fucking moron.
It is great. It's so instant. There's no no pause. It's just straight away.
Yeah.
But anyway, we meet our villains who are some club owners, and they're talking to the aptly named Mr. White, who's
the only white guy,
the villain investor of this other club, who repetitively threatens Leroy and Skillet that if their club doesn't go well, he's going to murder them.
That's an important
he's going to murder them.
Yeah.
And but Leroy and Skillet are very confident that their club is gonna go well because no one's touring at the moment, right?
Yeah,
no one's touring. So end of story.
Or is it?
But no, it turns out that Petey Wheatstraw is doing a show at a club called Steve's Den.
I don't know why you find that so funny.
I found that very funny. So I don't know what city we're in, actually.
I have no
I'm not good with
idea.
American cities. But they've gone somewhere on tour to Steve's Den. We meet Steve, who tells a kind of confusing anecdote about his theories of people and like I was kind of confused by it. He's talking about different people shit in different ways. Is that what he's saying? Like,
that's
so
right.
he's like, you can tell a lot by a person by how they shit. So some people shit and then just flush it.
Yeah.
And some people shit and then look back at their shit.
Yeah.
Not really sure what that meant about those people, but that was his.
There was so much just like completely nonsensical like dialogue in here that I was like, well, should I be listening to this? Because the audio quality was also pretty terrible, and a lot of it, and as well as it being very like maybe like I don't know, southern dialect, and I have no idea what they're saying. Should I know what they're saying? And then he's just talking about shit, but he's like describing the shit with sounds well, and he's like and I'm like, wait, what's happening now? Like, is he talking about? He's talking about shit, isn't he? Is this necessary to the story?
No, I don't think so.
No.
But I mean, you could say that it's kind of hard to judge what is necessary to the story here because there's so many tangents that it goes on.
Well, by this point, I still didn't know what the story was about.
Yeah, we're still
I didn't know what film I was watching.
So, after this meeting that Petey has at this club, he leaves the club and he sees that his car is being jacked.
That's brilliant.
And we get a freaking amazing sequence of him chasing the guys who like were trying to steal things from his car. It's in fast motion for a little bit, which is really great. And then suddenly in slow motion when some eggs get hilariously smashed. Some guys are like, it's kind of like that old kind of, guys holding a glass pane, but instead of that, they're holding a giant trough of eggs.
They probably couldn't afford a glass pane. I kind of thought of it as like the like a Scooby-Doo chase scene, where they're going in and out of the doors. It was like that. It was like sped up. They had some music going. Like all running around the shed.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a few times for
at one point they're two of them are like carrying the car seat, right? And at one point they scoop a woman up who and she's like getting carried along as they're running away. It's Scooby-Doo is the best way to put it.
You imagine was it the Benny Hill music playing on top?
Very much that, And this is when I think it's the first scene we get to see Rudy Ray Moore show off his kung fu, which is a staple of all Rudy Ray Moore films. His kind of slow-moving kung fu where when we cut to a wide, it's like, is that a stunt double? I think it is, yeah. He also kicks a guy. So after he beats up these guys who stole from his car, he forces them to go back to put everything back in the car, and he kicks one of them in the ass as they're leaving, and it does a kind of boink sound effect.
That's right. There's so many goofy like sound effects.
Oh, it's so good. It's so great. Also at this point, Petey Wheatstraw's friends trying to advertise his show that's at Steve's Den, and we have I think his name is Ted, and Ted's younger brother, what was the younger brother's name? Larry. Right. So Ted and Larry, who are two friends of Petey Wheatstraw, I guess, they're putting up signs for Petey Wheatstraw's show, which are hilariously like homemade.
Oh yeah.
It's great. They look like they've sort of had the letters cut out of
hand painted sign,
glued together. It's pretty awesome.
So this is where word gets around that Petey Wheatstraw is playing in the other club, and our villains of the story, Skillet and Leroy, get word of this and realize if he plays there, they're not going to make any money. They're fucked. So Skillet it's Leroy. Sorry, Leroy. He's the boss.
Villain, yeah.
He calls up Petey Wheatstraw.
Yeah. This is great. This scene,
and he says like, well, actually, it turns out, which we didn't know at this point, but he owes him money.
They've got a history.
Yeah. Which we don't know of, but apparently they do.
Beautifully told in the script writing, though. It's just sort of, it's like a little background, bit, And
he's like, oh yeah, I owe you some money. Well, if you come play at my club, I can pay you back.
Terrible deal.
No, yeah, exactly. And Petey Wheatstraw gives the best reply to that. He says, give me a second. He says, I wouldn't stop my show if you needed ice water and hell.
That's great.
So a big fat fuck you to Skillet and Leroy.
I love that. Yeah, I've written down here as well, like how he's just instantly insulting them, and as you said, we don't know their relationship yet. But he's just like furious at these guys, and I think it's implied is it implied that the guys that jacked his car were connected with Leroy?
Oh,
I don't know. It might have been implied as well. I also love like when he hangs up the phone, Petey Wheatstraw is like, "Why you?" He's just really pissed off. He also has the great line because he's with his manager, I guess, Nell, who's sort of a love interest as well.
Oh, she's like the personal assistant. What is she? The secretary or something.
Yeah. And she's really into Petey, but he seems very uninterested in her. We have a lot of moments where they're about to do it, and then it kind of gets interrupted by something. Yeah. But he's kind of all worked up about this situation and says the great line, romance without finance is a damn nuisance.
Nuisance.
It's so great. Yeah. So old mate Leroy is pretty pissed off. So he's decided, if Petey won't bend, they're gonna bend him.
Ah, that's it. Yeah. Mr. White says you need to sort it out. You need to get people to the club or else.
Yeah. So Leroy gets his goons, led by a guy called, what was his name? Scarface Willie, I think is his name. Yeah, Scarface Willie.
Classic.
Who is pretty great. This guy is supposed to be quite threatening, right? He's got a big scar down his face. He does look quite imposing when you first see him, but as we'll see throughout the film, he's probably the most consistently humiliated character in the film. But anyways, Scarface shows up at Petey's friend Ted's.
The guys who are putting the posters around town. Yeah.
So him and his little brother, who's maybe like, I don't know, like a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's young.
And Ted and his brother Larry are having quite a heartfelt moment talking about
school,
skipping school,
eating watermelon,
eating watermelon at the same time. The goons come in, and in the fight, Larry ends up getting, the little kid, ends up getting shot, which is.
It's fucked.
Pretty intense tonal shift.
It is.
From, as you said, there were scenes before that you could have put the Benny Hill music over the top and it would not feel out of place. And then suddenly we're seeing a little kid get massacred.
Yeah.
And it's shot and edited quite strangely as well.
I really like the way they did that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very odd. It wasn't slow-mo. It was almost like stop motion in a way. It was like they had like one frame every like, I don't know, half a second. It's like gung, 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 gung as he like fell to the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
The camera also like rotated.
Yeah. It's
very
cool.
odd. And then the little kids are just like they're dying on the lawn.
Yeah,
and the goons do a runner.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors come out. He's like, I got the license plate. Let's get these motherfuckers.
Yeah. It is a very unusual shift.
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess, the only serious moment in the film, other than the next scene, actually. So we've got the death of this kid, and then we cut into his funeral, Larry's funeral, and Petey Wheatstraw is in a really great pinstripe suit. It looks so good. The costumes. We should take a moment to pause for the costumes.
A round of applause for the costumes. Yeah.
They're so good. Like, all of the... I don't know if these were just... This is a low-budget production, obviously. But I don't know if these were just clothes that were lying around that Rudy Ray Moore liked to wear, but they're great.
They're all, like, proper, like, pimp suits. Everyone's wearing, like, a pimp suit. Everyone has a cool hat and, like, pinstripe suits, like, big collars and stuff. Yeah, everyone's really stylish. It's like, actually, when was this made?
This is 77.
It's like pure like 70s disco era kind of clothes. Yeah, everyone's
so
really stylish.
It's so good.
And that is a stylish funeral I've ever seen in a film.
It's like, it's interesting because it's like, I suppose it could be read as like, you know, kitschy kind of, but it also looks really cool as well. Like, they are genuinely awesome looking costumes. I
wish I could pull one of those suits off.
I don't think we could pull those off.
We're far too white.
Yeah, I don't think it would work with us wearing them. But yeah, so we've got the funeral, which is interrupted by Scarface Willie and his mates. And they take out some Tommy guns and just shoot up the funeral.
So as they're coming out the church.
Yeah. It feels like something out of like a Godfather movie or something. It's just like a really violent kind of scene.
Yeah.
And then this is where we finally understand what all the Satan stuff is about.
Yeah.
So
I gotta say, so they shoot up everyone. Petey Wheatstraw takes like loads of bullets.
Yeah, he's all squibbed up.
Yeah.
Gets blown to bits. So at this point, were you like, wait, the hero of the film has just been shot?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I was like, fuck. And the coffin's dropped. The mum's dead. Like, the woman who was singing, the priest is dead. I was like, fucking hell, well, what's going to happen next?
Yeah. Well, what does happen next?
Satan.
Yeah, so Petey's gone down to hell.
That's him.
And hell is just a kind of dark, red-tinted room.
I loved that. I love the hell design. Just completely blacked out. With like a little bit of a pink tint on everything. With like a candle in the corner.
Yeah, it's great. So we meet Lucifer, or as his business card says, Lou Cypher.
That's it.
I really love how casual Petey is about this. He's like, "Who are you, man?"
Yeah, that's what he says. "Who are you, man?
Where am I at?" He's like really confused about the whole thing. So Lucifer gives a proposition to Petey. So it's what's his deal? Do you want to tell us what it is?
I will. But first, I got to. You briefly mentioned it, but the Lucifer thing. So Satan walks in and gives Petey Wheatstraw his card, and as you said, he goes, "Who are you, man?" And he looks at it, and he's like, "Lucifer." And Satan's like, "Oh, that's." He goes, "No, that was just a mistake by the printers."
Yeah, it's like not even like a play on words. It was just
that was a mistake on the printers. It's pronounced Lucifer.
Yeah.
And so he takes him to hell. and Lucifer cuts him a deal. In order to basically be reborn, in order so he can take revenge, avenge the death of the kid, and walk the stage once again to pursue his comedy career. He has to marry Lucifer's daughter.
Yeah.
And give her have a child.
That's right. Yeah.
So Petey Wheatstraw is like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. All right, we're in. And then
until he sees something.
So Lucifer says, "Oh, I hope you're not. What does he say? Like, beauty isn't that much of an issue for you."
Shows him the photo.
Shows him a photo, and immediately he's like, "Ah, hell no, deal's off." Yeah,
I'd rather be dead. Yeah.
So
so good.
Lucifer's daughter is not that much of a looker. Not that we don't actually get to see the picture.
Yeah. We don't see her for quite a while. She hasn't come into it for a while. Anyway, so eventually, Petey agrees to the deal.
Well, it's all the Satan mind trickery, doesn't he? You hear like the voices coming in, and he agrees through Satan's trickery.
So time rewinds. Yeah. The funeral shooting is rewound and kind of pauses there. You made a very good point when we were watching this, where it's like, oh, so they didn't rewind it to the kid?
Yeah, we got like a day before, save the 12-year-old kid. Like, no, it's just save the priest and someone else. Like,
But it's quite confusing because time has rewound, but Scarface Willie still thinks that he's killed Petey Wheatstraw.
Yeah.
So I guess that event still happened, but it's rewound so everyone's alive somehow. Don't quite know how the
But it was a very obvious
works.
Rewind. It was like like everything went back into like played backwards. So yeah, that's odd. Not that there's much in terms of solid continuity here.
Well, anyway, he's back alive again.
Here he is.
And he's out to get revenge, as is Ted, the brother of Larry. So this is one of my favorite bits in the film. Ted confronts Scarface Willie, and Petey also comes out of nowhere for this confrontation and scares the shit out of literally.
That's it. They think he's dead. Yeah,
out of Scarface Willie, and I do mean literally. So he's got Scarface Willie pinned against the wall, and he starts pissing himself. And then, if that's not enough, that's already quite funny. So again, this is what I meant by this character's meant to be quite scary, but he's just constantly humiliated throughout it. So then the next scene, we have Scarface Willie, who's pissed himself and is terrified after seeing the back-to-life Petey Wheatstraw. And he's explaining the situation to Leroy and Skillet. And everyone, all the other goons, and Leroy... and Skillet are all sort of holding their noses at the smell of him having, we think at this point, just pissed his pants. But then as he gets up to leave, he turns around and we see that he's also shitty pants.
Yeah, they're all like waving the air, like whoo, like covering their mouths. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
And then they all start to faint one by one from the smell. Yeah, they're all
fainting from the smell. That's amazing. Oh, it's really great. It's such a good scene. It's one of my favorite parts of the film. We also get, I love in this film how Satan just calls up Petey throughout this.
He's all working telephone.
Yeah, so he calls up Petey and he's like, oh, by the way, forgot to mention, there's also this cane.
The magic
cane. We've got a magical cane for you. So that is a thing of Rudy Ray Moore. He always has a pimp cane. With a... Do you notice it had a little microphone on the end of it?
Was that a microphone?
Yeah.
I could see something was obviously taped on with like electrical tape. I didn't know that was a microphone.
It looks a bit worse for wear in this film. Yeah, I feel like previously it didn't look that bad, but as you said here, it looks like it's sort of broken and it's been
clearly taped on. And the tape, like this tape that got wrapped around, they don't even like match.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Terribly done.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's got this, he tells him about this cane. He doesn't actually have the cane yet. He has to go retrieve it from somewhere.
I love this scene, yeah.
Yeah, but before that though, after this phone call, a bunch of the goons show up to attack Petey at his house. And holy shit, this scene is so good. So Petey Wheatstraw is basically in little tidy whities or tidy greenies, I should say, and like a singlet or something, like a green singlet. He's basically in his pajamas, and he starts he really ramps up the kung fu in this scene.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed watching you watch this scene because you're like, what the fuck's going on? Because Petey Wheatstraw is doing all these like weird kind of moves.
Yeah.
But the sounds that he's making, they're not really the kind of cliche, mildly racist kind of kung fu sounds you would normally hear in a 70s film. It's like just weird.
What the fuck are these noises?
Yeah. It's very, very
It was like somebody mumbling whilst like spilling liquid out their mouth. It's like,
it's really weird. And I feel like this is the first scene we hear him do that, right?
Yeah, it comes back a few times, and every time, like, what is this?
Yeah, it's extremely strange, but very funny. And I also love, like, you know, if you're thinking about like a great sort of Shaw Brothers kung fu, where it's like really amazing kung fu. This is not that. This is kind of slow kicks, but there's a real charm to it as well. I think, it's incredibly entertaining.
I love that. Like one of the guy, he's approaching the girl, Nell, is it the assistant, and he's got the machete, and he's got her like backed up into the corner, and she screams, and he just fucking like slams the machete into her table. He doesn't even kill. He just like turns around and fucking slams the table in half.
I think my favorite bit is where there's the guy on the roof and he just sort of flings him off the roof.
What is that? It's like some random dude
crawling around the roof. Yeah, Petey Wheatstraw throws him off the roof, then jumps off after him, making all those kind of crazy sounds as he does it. It's a crazy scene, and then it's followed up by just such a baffling, jarring scene change where we're suddenly in a cemetery.
I love that scene.
And there's a guy, a drunken guy, just wandering around the cemetery who is completely incomprehensible because he's supposed to be drunk, I guess, but we don't know what's going. He falls into an open grave. And it goes on so long, you're like, what the fuck has this got to do with anything?
No.
And then Petey Wheatstraw and his mate Jimmy show up, and they're there to look for the cane, the magical cane. But like, I was honestly, I've seen this film before, but I was so confused by this scene. I actually thought Rudy Ray Moore was playing a different character in this scene because it's just such a weird shift and change.
Can I jump in a second?
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, that graveyard scene, because Satan said like the magic cane is in the graveyard, right? And then so we do the.
I'd totally forgotten that when we were watching it. That's why I was so confused. Like, wait, huh? What?
And then it's like, right, so we cut to the graveyard scene. We have the opening shot of like the outside the night, but already it's like church organ playing. It's like, and you hear like wolves howling and stuff. So they get the perfect like spooky graveyard setting, like aesthetics in there from the get go. And then you look at the graveyard, and it's just like this kind of like open lot in between two buildings. Like you can clearly see like a chain fence and the house next door, and there's all these like shitty handmade like great like tombstones.
It's great. It's so good.
Yeah. And why the fuck is there an open grave?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And when the guy falls in, Petey Wheatstraw just finds it hilarious, and he's like, "Oh, let's bury him."
So the guy falls in and he starts like groaning, and so with the church organ and the wolves howling and this guy like screaming from the grave, it's like pure horror aesthetics, and he's just like kicking mud.
It's so good. Oh, I fucking love it. All right, so he's got his magical cane, which is going to be very important.
Which was wrapped in pink satin.
Oh, yeah. Important detail.
Yeah, I like that. I like that detail.
But yeah, super important point that he has his cane there. So then we're back to Leroy. He's setting up the club. It seems to be going well. Mr. White shows up to check it out. Again, threatens to murder Leroy and Skillet if it doesn't go well. And then we go back to the other club. What was it again? I forgot the name that I found really funny.
What was it?
Pete's Den. Is that what it was called? Maybe. Something like that.
Could have been.
So we go back to that den and we get... Oh, fuck, mate. This could be my favorite scene of the whole movie. So we're back to the other club. The club where Petey Wheatstraw is going to perform. And... this woman's come in to audition for the club.
What the fuck was that about?
It's very random. So she's just up on the stage singing a cappella. Yeah, and it's horrible.
Her piano player got lost or something. She says like some weird...
And it's it's awful. And as you said, what's all that about? It's got nothing to do with the scene. It just adds this layer of insanity. While this scene's playing out, we've got this horrible singing going the whole time. So we're in the club and Petey Wheatstraw's cane starts vibrating.
That's it. He gets the sense through the vibrations of the cane, doesn't he?
And he follows the cane into the bathroom where he finds a stick of dynamite.
It's like a time bomb.
Time bomb, which is ticking loudly. And as you pointed out when we were watching it, it's got like a paper clock
it's
kind of cut out from some A4 paper stuck to it. And I love Rudy Ray Moore's performance in this. Is so funny because rather than sort of handling it like a kind of heroic sort of character, he just runs out with this dynamite, like kind of in a mad panic, freaking out. And so that he's running around with this dynamite while that woman's still singing.
She never stops.
So funny. It's so good. And eventually he throws the dynamite outside and it lands into a... Oh, sorry.
Can I say, before he takes it outside, he throws it in the club.
That's right, yeah. He throws it.
He chucks it and it lands like
and
in a meter radius. And everyone kind of like ducks for cover. But they're literally a meter away from this like block of dynamite. And then they're all just like, oh, it didn't go off. And then he picks it up again and starts panicking again.
Starts ticking again, yeah.
That's odd.
Oh, it's so good.
I was like, why isn't anyone fucking running or hiding? They just like threw it on the floor and then like showed their back to it.
Oh man, it's so good. But yeah, he ends up taking it outside. He throws it into a truck full of watermelons.
That's it.
Which explodes. Like, what a great ending to that. It's incredible.
That was great. And as all the pieces of watermelon fall down as they impact on people, there's like little organ sounds like as they hit people.
Oh, it's fucking great. It's so good. So at that point, he's like, all right, we need to take care of Leroy. That's the last straw.
Yeah.
This whole dynamite incident. Not just murdering the child. Like that, this is the final straw. So Leroy's opening is happening at this point.
Oh, the scene was such a headache. Fucking hell. It was so disjointed. I think this, along with like the weird kung fu noises, this scene was the most like stressful to get through for me.
It's pretty full on.
Yeah.
It's not that... So we see a band playing, and it's not that the band is a bad band. They're probably quite good. But as you said, it's very disjointed the way it's edited. Almost like they're taking the sound from each like close up. So when we're on the trumpets, we're kind of mostly hearing the trumpets, and then to a wide it's suddenly loud again, but it's all a little bit out of time.
And I feel like the way it's cut, they're not cutting like at the end of each musical bar. So things like jump in like in the middle of a previous bar. So it's very like it's pretty intense. So Petey and Jimmy have shown up for the opening night. Can I just say at one point, sorry, back to the band.
There's so much, isn't there?
There was the woman like playing the keyboard and the trumpet at the same time.
I forgot about that.
I was like, how's she doing? She's got the keyboard in one hand, trumpet on the other. I was like,
yeah.
this woman's great. Sorry, carry on.
So yeah, Petey and Jimmy show up in disguise doing Jamaican accents.
That's it.
And it's I mean, it's not really... Their disguise is nothing. Like, they're wearing just the normal kind of outrageous costumes they would normally wear.
Scarface gets his next insult.
Yeah, I fucking love that insult. Did you write it down? Yeah. It's so good.
Well, that's it. Like, so Scarface kind of recognizes him, and he's like, "Oh, well, don't I know you?"
Yeah.
And he pulls the Jamaican card, says, "No, he's not him." And then he goes, out of my way, scratch face son of a bitch.
Scratch face son of a bitch. It's like kind of a gentle insult in a way, but it's also kind of cutting. It's quite harsh on this poor guy. This poor guy with a disfigured face.
Yeah, poor scratch face.
Oh man. So Petey and Jimmy are in the audience, sort of, watching the show.
They're kind of blending in, right?
Watching the show as it happens. This is the point we find out Leroy and Skillet, they're not only club owners, they're also incredibly shitty comedians. So they come out onto the stage. Leroy's in a outfit that really distressed me.
Their outfits? It's so weird.
Yeah, they're in these kind of weird silk kind of outfits, but Leroy has what looks like a giant safety pin hanging off his crotch. Yeah. And it's just...
They were kind of like matching outfits as well, aren't they? And they're both like big kind of guys, and the only way that I could really like describe it would be like Tweedledum and Tweedledee costumes.
That's a very good comparison, actually.
They're kind of like big and bulky, like clumsy dudes, and they got like the suspenders and stuff. Yeah, it's very Tweedledum and Tweedledee-ish.
So they're kind of like a little double act, kind of like Abbott and Costello kind of double act going on. Mr. White's in the crowd with his wife, Mrs. White, and Mrs. White's sister as well.
Friend White.
For no reason, so Petey's cane starts controlling what Leroy and Skillet are saying. And he starts making them say, like, insulting things about Mr. White and Mrs. White. Kind of like, I don't know, I feel like the audience kind of overreacts to their comments. They're not that bad.
No.
And then one of the best things in the film happens after this. So a singer comes out to perform after Leroy and Skillet leave. And again, he uses the cane. And he uses the cane to fuck up the singer's voice. So the singer's like singing quite well. And then suddenly she's like, whoa, like, does like this kind of toad voice. Yeah. And then her wig flies off.
Shoots up.
And her clothes, like, fly off as well. Yeah. And it's really harsh. This woman has nothing to do with this situation, yet she gets so humiliated in front of this crowd of people.
That's it. He's just trying to, like, completely sabotage their show. But it was weird. Like you said, the audience reaction was quite harsh, but the way that the Skillet and what's his face, they delivered those like insults, like it was really like serious.
It's like not funny. No. They're just like, you're a piece of shit.
It was all directed at the sponsor, Mr. White, and his family, and it was like, this bitch wearing the bed sheet. We know a bed sheet when we see it. It was so out of place.
They're quite like unusually specific insults, and as you said, not funny, like very serious.
And his face, it was so like clenched up. It was a very odd tonal shift.
It's quite funny because that. Am I right in thinking that has no? There's no point in that happening as well, right? Because Mr. White has no relevance after that. Is that right?
That is.
It kind of wrecks the show, but it kind of ultimately doesn't matter that he insulted Mr. White after all those kind of threats that he's gonna kill them, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's all part of the grand revenge plan.
Yeah. So the cane continues to work its magic. As you said when we were watching it, what's going on in this scene? Like stuff starts sort of falling from the ceiling. Yeah. Don't know what it is. Foam.
It's kind of foamish, isn't it?
Something, it starts coming down.
Like fires start coming out from the table, and the foam starts falling from the ceiling. Everything becomes a big mad panic, and everyone has to try to like escape the venue.
Yeah, shit's like blowing up on the tables and stuff.
And that's when like... And at that point, it's like, it gets a little bit serious, because like, with all the shit going on, the fires and the explosions and the weird foam, and then there's just like... It's like the interlaced shot of Satan just laughing.
Flashing, subliminal flashes.
There's like blood coming out of his eyes. He's like, ah. And I was like, ooh, this is a bit of a tonal shift from the wig flying off.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like it's going to be like, Petey's getting power mad sort of thing, but it's kind of not. It doesn't really matter ultimately. After this all happens, Ted once again... tries to get revenge for his dead brother with Scarface Willie, and he's beating the shit out of Willie again against like sort of an alley wall, and something really weird happens in the scene as he's sort of beating the shit out of Willie. Willie takes out a knife and stabs himself.
Yeah, so odd.
To sort of rob him of his revenge.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
It was really odd. And it wasn't even like a big fight scene. It wasn't like he was beating him to a pulp and he was on the brink of death. He had him going, they were throwing a few punches at each other, and then he just suddenly pulled out a knife and he's like, he stabbed himself in the stomach.
Don't take this revenge from me.
What the fuck? Like, that's a bit early, isn't it? Like, he's still got fighting chance, but yeah.
It's extremely weird.
It was odd. But yeah, then we go into hell and we finally see the daughter but we don't
Kind of,
really see
yeah,
her.
yeah.
She's behind a
Behind a veil.
veil. Yeah.
I love that she's watching this scene sort of play out. She sees Petey there, and she's like super into Petey
Oh,
Wheatstraw.
yeah.
She's like, he's divinely sexy, which is an aspect I fucking love about Rudy Ray Moore movies, because everyone just fucking loves, like,
Right.
all the ladies love Rudy Ray Moore. I wouldn't say he's not an unattractive man, but he's kind of a goofy man, right? Like, he's a little bit overweight. He's a bit dorky, but you know, everyone fucking loves him. It's great.
He's cool as fuck, but he's not
He's not a
best of
traditional
lookers.
hunk.
No,
Yeah.
he's no hunk.
he's no traditional hunk. Yeah.
So now, like, Petey Wheatstraw, he used his powers from the cane, and then he gets a bit like power mad.
Yeah.
And then we have the greatest,
It's
almost
so
compilation of him just using his cane powers.
It's fucking great, because it comes so out of nowhere. It's again a moment where you're like, what's happening? Because we cut from hell to a guy we haven't met, who's like leaving his house, his sort of angry wife, and then is going to cheat on her with a woman.
He has a girl waiting for him in the car. Yeah.
And we're like, what's this got to do with
Like, who the
anything?
fuck is this? Like, for a start.
Yeah. The angry wife comes out with a knife. She's about to kill the guy. Then Petey Wheatstraw interrupts. He's like, "Don't kill this man. Come on, I'll grant any wish.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you want to happen to your cheating husband?" She's like, "I want him to turn into a little puppy." And Petey's like, "No problem," and turns this guy into a puppy.
And he's still wearing the hat as well.
It's so great. It's so bonkers. And my favorite bit of this is the woman who he was about to cheat on his wife with runs away, like, screaming. And there's this amazing wide shot of her, like, running with her arms flailing about it.
It's like,
Kind of moving.
like,
Oh,
going
it's
back and
so
forth.
good. It's so great. So we've got this, as you said, like, this amazing montage of him just sort of helping people out, kind of. In a way.
But the next one is the most bizarre.
Explain what happens in that.
So there are these kids playing by the side of the road and playing with the ball. The ball rolls into the road. Classic, cars come in, and then Petey comes in with his cane, stops the car, brings the kid to the back to safety, and ultimately saves them. And it's all like, yeah, but then he's like, he goes, "I'm gonna comb your nappy hair." And he like whips out a comb and starts combing these kids.
It's full on.
And these kids are crying. And they're like full on crying. And he's like combing them. Like this big old like comb.
Yeah, it's really intense.
But the most bizarre thing is the shot like lingers on this kid for so long.
Right? It's like a really young kid, like maybe like 5 or something.
Yeah, and he hated it.
It's clearly real, totally real, with Rudy Ray Moore combing this kid, crying kid's hair. But as you said, the shot lingers on him, kind of hunched over and freaking out.
It. And the proper tears, and all the other kids are gone. They finished playing, they've gone home, and they're just filming this one kid, like, crying. He's, like, on all fours, just like, "Ah!"
I gotta say, your reaction to that scene was so funny, because you were in hysterics at this crying kid, this horrible scene, and you're just slapping your leg laughing about it. Oh man, it's such a great sequence, and most of it is just like Petey sort of running down the street in slow motion.
That's it.
Having a great time, sort of pointing his cane at people, dancing. Well, the really great song.
You know what it's like? It's like that fucking Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire when he's
Dancing
all emo and he's like
street.
walking down the street, like clicking and pointing and stuff.
It has
and
that
that's
vibe.
what he's doing. He's walking around, he's got his cane, he's like whoosh, whoosh, and he's spinning, he's got his hands waving in the air and he's helping people. And it has that feel. But it's already fucked up. After he combs the kid's hair, there's a fat woman who can't get into a chair, so he makes her thin.
And she's just like, I'm thin.
Yeah.
And then he, at the end, for kind of just on himself for his own amusement, he makes money rain from the sky.
Rains money.
Oh, it's so great. I think as well, like, Rudy Ray Moore's performance in this is why he's so great. Because he's just, there's something, what I like about him, no matter what the scene, you can always see like a little smile on his face of how much he's enjoying what's happening.
Oh, it seems like such a fun film.
Oh, it's so good.
Like, it would have been so much fun to do.
It's so great. Yeah, I love that sequence. It's so amazing, especially after it comes after what feels like it should be the end of the movie.
Yeah, because that's it. They sabotage the club. I thought, oh, we're kind of rolling into the end. Yeah, it's.
But we've still got 40 more minutes after this.
Hell. We've already been talking for an hour.
This might be a long episode. Yeah.
So Petey is enjoying his powers, and he definitely doesn't want to marry Satan's ugly daughter. So he makes a plan.
Yeah.
Or he thinks up of a way to how to fool the devil.
It's so good. So his plan is, and again, it has no relevance ultimately on the story, this plan.
No.
We'll get to that in a moment. But basically
I still don't know what the story is.
So his plan is like, so he's talking to Satan on the phone, who, by the way, is in a tub in hell, drinking milk. just sitting there. He's like talking to Satan on the phone, and he's like, look, before the wedding, my father told me before I get married, I should meditate. Like, my dad was really into meditating, so I want to meditate before the wedding. So can you just leave me alone for a while I meditate? Which is already kind of unnecessary.
Out of the blue, yeah.
And so then his actual plan is like, all right, we're going to make a mask. We're going to make a Petey Wheatstraw mask. We're going to find a wino. We're going to drug that wino by shoving a syringe up his butt. Well, not up his butt, but into his butt. We're going to knock him out, and we're going to put a mask on this wino, and then that's going to fool Satan for a short amount of time while they can get across to the other side of the country. Yeah. Which seems irrelevant because, we're talking about Satan here. Yeah. It's so good. And so Jimmy makes this mask. Oh, fuck, that's so funny. When he's making that mask, it's just so surreal, isn't it? The scene where they're, like, sitting around and they're making this mask of Petey Wheatstraw, which looks...
It's kind of like him, yeah.
But also a bit shit. Like, it's not going to fool anyone.
A mask, yeah.
But then they put it on this wino that they've kidnapped, essentially, and they've, is unconscious. They put him on, and it just looks perfect. Yeah, this is Rudy Ray Moore playing this wino.
Snap to Rudy Ray Moore on the sofa, passed out.
Oh, what a great plan. It's so good. And then we hard cut into Satan, Lucifer, on a morning jog.
I love that scene.
In a jogging suit.
Oh, that jogging suit. It looks so cool. And he's like overtaking the other joggers.
And they're all kind of like, yeah, nice one, Lucifer.
Yeah. And again, like cool music playing, like all whammies and stuff. He's like jogging around, got some sunnies on, jogging suit.
It's stuff like this that feels like the script was written very frantically, where they're like, all right, what should happen next? All right, Satan has to go and see Petey.
Yeah.
Let's make him jog. He's going to be in a jogging suit. He's just jogging to meet him. So anyway, Satan shows up to see Petey. The wino plan has no relevance at this point.
It hasn't kicked in yet.
It hasn't really kicked in. The wino's wearing this mask, but it's unrelated. So he meets Petey and says he's got a wedding gift for him, which leads us to one of the best scenes of the movie.
Before we get to the scene, it has one of my best lines at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, oh, we'll go for a jog. And Petey goes, if you got to run for it, it must be something groovy.
That's pretty great.
So they both run to...
I love them running together as well. So we've seen Satan running, and then he gets Petey, and they leave, and they're both like jogging. Oh, fuck, it's so good. It's so great.
Essentially jog to an abandoned building.
Do you know something I've just realized from looking at my notes? There's something fucking hilarious that happens in this place that I totally forgot about.
Right.
So when they show up at this abandoned building, I think it's an abandoned funeral home, right? So they like rip down the condemned thing. They go into this room, and but we're greeted instantly by this sort of freak hunchback character.
Like Quasimodo. I swear to God,
is just there, and Petey Wheatstraw makes a joke about it being Satan's son.
Yeah. He says like if you're struggling to find someone to marry your daughter, you got no luck trying to find someone to marry your son.
But that hunchback is totally irrelevant. I've
Yeah.
just realized that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. This guy just comes in, but he's like full on Quasimodo.
It's amazing. Anyway, so Satan's present is basically...
He goes behind a curtain.
Yeah, he just
after.
leaves and that's
he
it.
walks in and says hey and then leaves immediately. It's like,
totally random. So they got that guy dressed up
Yeah.
as a hunchback for that moment.
he must have, what, 10 seconds of screen time?
That's so great. That's amazing. But anyway, Satan's present is a bachelor party.
Yeah.
For Petey Wheatstraw with all these demon girls.
Yeah.
And then we move into just the funniest fucking sequence. Do you want to talk about this bit?
Yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, he says, welcome to your bachelor party, and it's like Satan does a click, it's like bam, and suddenly it's like pop, all these like half naked girls
Demon
appear.
babes.
Demon babes. And they got these really weird fucking horns on as well.
Yeah.
The horns are odd.
Yeah,
they're not even
absolutely.
like spiky, they're like little like marshmallows stuck onto their forehead. And then commences one of the greatest sex scenes ever. So it's
outrageous orgy.
It's so bizarre, but it's so like fast. It's all like zooms in and out, and Petey like staring at the camera,
Yeah,
laughing.
looking back like,
He's like, yeah, it's like that American Psycho scene with with Bateman like flexing and be like, ooh, like, looking at himself in the mirror. He's like Petey Wheatstraw staring at the camera, laughing, and then there's like frantic zooms in on Satan's face, like a picture. And there's and it's like wow, like in and out, and there's all these legs up in the air. Petey Wheatstraw's like eating out all these girls and like coming up for air and looking at the camera laughing.
It's so wildly unerotic. Like there's nothing sexy about this scene, which makes it all the more funny. Really,
Very odd.
it's very fast. It's very frantic.
But those Satan zoom shots are great.
It's so good. It's so great. So yeah, but. Again, a scene that's completely irrelevant, really.
Yeah.
There's no purpose to this. So after this irrelevant orgy scene, we go back to the wino. Finally,
So now it's time to put the plan into action.
Yeah. So all these fairly frightening demons come to take the wino away. And this is one of my favorite things is that they take the wino. So they've worked really hard on this plan, right? They grab the wino. He instantly wakes up in the back of this car with these demons driving, freaks out, takes the mask off, and they're like, it was a trick. Like, what was the point of
and
that
just runs
plan?
off, and that's it, done.
It saved no time at all.
Yeah.
So Satan is
There was so much time spent on making that plan,
a lot of fucking time.
and it's over in an instant. Once the plan actually gets started, goes into action, they get him in the car, and he wakes up, and he's like, They take off the mask, he's out
Yeah.
immediately.
Totally irrelevant, but also great.
Yeah.
So the wedding's ruined. The daughter is furious. Satan is fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
He causes an earthquake, and I think it's Nell's apartment. It's always the Petey's assistant's apartment.
And she's always fucking going on about it.
Yeah, she's like, my apartment. Well, I mean, understandable, mate. You know, if your apartment was constantly getting fucked up because of Petey Wheatstraw, you'd be pretty pissed off too, I'd imagine.
I wouldn't be his assistant anymore, would I?
So, Satan causes this big kind of earthquake in the apartment. Petey kind of protects himself with his cane and a bit of kung fu as well.
That's it. More goons come in, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, all the demons like invade the club at that point, right? He sort of goes to the club. The demons come in. It's kind of disturbing makeup on those demons too.
And it's surprisingly good.
Yeah, it cranks up the horror at this point, which is pretty cool.
You say that, but the costumes are so incredibly shit. Like they're in like little like tights, little like different colors. Sometimes they're orange tights or purple tights, and they got these little shitty capes on, and it's like pure dollar store Halloween costumes.
Have you watched Bottom before?
Oh my god, I made a note of that.
Yeah.
It's
Like
like
it
that
looks
Bottom.
Rick Mail.
Yeah. It's like that Halloween episode in Bottom. I made that exact fucking
hilarious.
note. Yeah.
That's too funny. Yeah, there's a great episode of Bottom, the Halloween one, where Rick Mail's dressed up as a devil, and it looks like that.
It does. I'm really. I'm really glad we made the exact same comparison.
It's very funny that we're in sync for that. Yeah. Satan also goes full Satan.
He turns into his ultimate form.
Yeah, which is just a beard that goes from his head down around his from his head down to his chin.
But he's a bit more like goat-like, isn't he? He's got the goat ears and the goat horns.
And he's got some sort of powdery makeup on his face as well at that point as well. So yeah, the demons attack the club. They fight them off. The demons again come to Nell's apartment. There's a whole lot of kung fu. The fight then sort of moves out to the streets.
Yeah.
It's all very chaotic at this point. It's quite confusing because it is very low budget. It's not very well lit. But at one point, Satan and his mates capture Nell. They've got her up on the roof.
Yeah.
Took me a while to kind of realize that because you can't really see because it's all in a wide shot.
Sure.
It's not super clear. And at this point, Rudy Ray Moore starts doing this amazing thing. Do you know what I'm talking about here? With it,
is it the ladder?
Not the ladder. The head wobble.
Oh,
that he starts doing. So throughout this sort of sequence, it's like Rudy Ray Moore kind of is like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I started doing this head wobble?
Yeah.
So he's moving his head side to side, this cool little move, and he does it a lot, but only at the end. Really, it's great.
It's like his finishing move kind of thing.
Yeah. So as you said, he puts a ladder up against the building, which clearly wouldn't be able to reach the roof, but then we just sort of cut to him up on the roof, and does his amazing little head dance when he gets up the top, and starts to fight Satan on the rooftop here, which is a pretty great sequence.
It's awesome.
Great and shit at the same time.
And then we get the weird kung fu gobble gobble noises back in there.
Yeah, very weird shit going on there. He ends up fighting Satan, picking him up and throwing him off the building.
Oh yeah.
Satan kind of bursts into flames.
Yeah.
Sort of just before he throws him off, right?
There's this weird animated flashbang sequence, it's like Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes. The weird zigzag,
like in Mad Foxes.
Yeah, you got a knack for choosing these strange.
That's why I chose it. Yeah. So yeah, he's it seems that he's beaten Satan at this point, right?
How you throw him off a building?
Yeah,
how does that kill Satan?
Throwing Satan off a building.
But during this fight, though, Nell realizes that she's left her pants at home.
Very important.
So she's like, I gotta go back, gotta get my pants and my makeup and my stuff, and so let's just leave Petey here for a while. We'll come pick him up again later. So they drive off. Then he throws Satan off the roof, and he thinks, well, we're all well and done now. Satan's been defeated. Weedy's like, I did it. I fucking killed Satan.
Yeah, he's stoked about killing Satan.
And he does the little head wobbles, probably got some wah-wah pedal playing at the same time. And so he gets off the roof, and at this point, Nell and the crew are back. Or so we think.
Yeah. But they're on the other side of the street. So he gets into a car that looks exactly the same, I guess. But in the car, of course, Satan's still alive. He threw him off a building. He's going to survive that. Satan's in there with Satan's daughter, and we finally see her face, which is legitimately pretty fucked.
It looks like she took a gunshot to the head.
It's really disturbing makeup. Her whole kind of nose is not there, right? I kind of expected it to look like the demon kind of guy is kind of a burnt looking face. But no, it's pretty disturbing kind of makeup. And we end on an amazing freeze frame of Rudy Ray Moore screaming and roll credits.
Brilliant.
What a great ending. Oh man. I love this movie so much. It's my favorite Rudy Ray Moore movie by far. I feel like it's not really talked about as much as his other films, but it is just so consistently hilarious and out of control, totally unpredictable,
completely mad.
Yeah,
I still don't know what it was about.
But it's great.
It was great. It was so much fun, even if even though it was clearly low budget and some of the scenes they're clearly shit. Yeah. Even the action scenes, the kung fu type scenes, everything is shot on a wide angle, like far away from anything. So there's never any like close-up shots.
Yeah.
There's never anything which is really that exciting, even in the exciting scenes. But just like the whole like being baffled by everything was fun. Like, okay, so now he's like doing kung fu on demons now, and they're in like spandex tights and shit, and he threw Satan off building. Everything is quite shit. But it was so entertaining. But it wasn't that like it's so bad it's good genre. It was actually good in its own way.
Definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't like that B movie kind of shitness.
I feel like it's. Yeah, I'm kind of weird with that whole, like, so bad it's good kind of thing, because I think it gets, like...
it gets old quick, right?
Yeah. And I it's definitely... For me, it's just a great movie. It's, like, they knew... It's meant to be a comedy, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it holds up so well. As you say, of course, it's, like... shit around the edges, but it's really got a heart of gold, this film, I think. And just I love Rudy Ray Moore. He's just so damn funny.
Yeah.
And I really do think after this you've got to see Dolemite, and you should watch that. The Dolemite is my name as well.
I got a lot lined up for me.
It's so good. In terms of the wrongometer. So this is kind of a as we said before, it's kind of a different, it's kind of a weird choice, right? I chose this more because it's wrong in the way that it's so out of control and unpredictable.
Yeah.
Not so much, it's not an offensive movie in any way, really. Well, I guess if you're easily offended, it could be.
I feel like and even in amongst like the blaxploitation films, not that I've seen that many, but it's probably on the lighter note.
Yeah, it's definitely lighter, but it's also, I think, one of the more out of control films in this genre for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what's your wrongometer rating.
I will get to that. Before I get to that, I've got one thing. So I don't know if you knew this or if you noticed this, but watching the credits, I saw that Satan's daughter was actually played by Nell, the same actress as Nell.
Really?
And I wonder if that was a choice, because she was kind of like the love interest throughout the movie as well.
Sure.
Yeah. And I thought, it could have just very much been a budgetary choice, because it's not like they have like a ton of cast. But I thought it was an interesting choice to have Nell play the Satan's daughter, which would have been the bride. That was one thing. But yeah, the wrongometer. So how wrong is this film? It's so wrong, because like I said, I don't know what this is about. It's about a guy a comedian who fought Satan, who was born at 10 years old, and
that's the best thing to remember about it. It begins with that outrageous birth scene, which kind of sets the kind of insane tone for the rest of the film.
That's it. It's not an offensive film. It's not even the horror scenes, like of him fighting Satan and the demons coming and the grotesque makes. It's not a grotesque or even scary film. The even the erotic scenes, like the orgy, they're not even that explicit.
It's like Benny Hill eroticism. Yeah.
So on a level of like offensiveness, it ranks pretty low, but just the level of wrongness, like who was this made for? It's ranking up there. It's bloody high. It's bloody high, because I still don't know what it was about. But it'd be 9.
Yeah,
9, I reckon.
I think
I'm on like 8, 9-ish, but probably closer to a 9.
I think I'm gonna go for an 8.
Yeah.
Just because it's at least fairly consistent in the level of insanity it has. It's not like a up and down kind of thing like Mad Fox's, but I think it does mostly, other than the kid getting killed, have like a tonal consistency, right?
Oh yeah, Christ.
But yeah, it is a totally unpredictable, crazy movie, so it definitely has to rank pretty high. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I think... Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea about it, man. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. That's definitely for sure.
I do, highly recommend checking out the rest of his filmography as well.
And he plays like a similar character amongst all the films.
He's basically in everything he's in.
Yeah.
He's essentially that character.
But he doesn't direct, and the director changes from film to film. From what I just had a look at the back of the DVD covers.
I think I don't think he's directed. I could be wrong. Like I'm not sure, but like I don't think he's directed any of his own sort of things. But I think he's like heavily involved in the production. It's very much like his film.
Yeah.
Like it's his stamp on all of his films. Yeah.
I don't know who I would recommend this to. And I don't know if I were to recommend it to someone, how I would go about recommending this. Other than it's a fucking weird film. It's about a kung fu comedian who fights the devil.
Yeah.
If you put it into a sentence, it's a kung fu comedian who fights the devil.
I think you're right in the sense that his film Dolemite, his first film, is much more palatable in the sense that it's still pretty crazy and wild, but it's like a blaxploitation film. It's a comedy, whereas this film, you know, as you said, it starts with a 10-year-old boy being birthed and ends with Satan being thrown off a rooftop. It's just a totally wild kind of film. It's it's definitely, in some ways, it's my favorite film by but it's also his least accessible in a way in terms of recommending it.
I kind of wish there was more films like this though. Like I love films of just like random dudes fight Satan. It's so much
great.
fun.
Yeah, it is it's an incredibly fun film. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but yeah, you need to find the right person to recommend it to.
I doubt I have those people. Yeah. Or that kind of person in my life.
All right, so
Jesus Christ, yeah. Okay, so
what have we got coming up next week? It's your turn to choose.
So next time, next week. Next week is it a weekly thing? Well, anyway, next time.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Let's just next time.
Next time, the film I have chosen is The Infernal Rapist.
Quite a horrific title.
The last one I did was Writhing Tongue, which was traumatic. And I thought I'd shift the tones. And although it sounds quite horrendous, The Infernal Rapist, and in some ways it is, but in other ways it isn't.
Well, I know absolutely nothing about this film outside of the title, so I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, good. All right, good stuff. Join you next time for The Infernal Rapist.
What a horrible way to end.
Follow Show Me Something Wrong on Twitter at SNSW Podcast, please.